going again next to the dowel stick hole, and I feel the tension, which it is. It doesn't want to move lightly, you know. So now I'm going to go and try to get each of these to that even tension. You can just feel it. They stop wanting to turn. That one's tight. Didn't move at all. That one didn't really move. And these ones are still a little looser in between the four outer edges. Okay, that's all the way around. I'm looking, and this is looking very even. It's a little higher over here, so I'm going to tighten this side to bring them down to a visual evenness on the top. I'm not worried about the tension of the hooks on this part. If they're super tight like this one is, I don't bother. This is the lowest point on the rim on this side. So now I'm going to start from this side of the dowel stick and bring down this side a little bit to even it out. Even out the height of the tension hoop above the head. Okay, so it came out to have the tension hoop is about, let's see if we can get a good shot of this, but if you look down here, it's about 5/32 or 4 millimeters above the goatskin head. This is a pre-stretch head. It's been stretched on a jig for about a month. So it's pretty stable. So now I'm going to leave it at that height and just put it away for the day. I'll come back to it tomorrow and I'll bring it back a little bit, pull it down a little bit more, and then I'll let that sit for a few days, and then I'll come and bring it back down to 16, to about a 1/16 above the head, and that's when I'll string up the banjo and let the tension of the strings stretch it out a little bit more that it'll want to go. And then we let it sit for about another week in the shop. Just my back door of the shop is goes right out to the driveway, so it gets pretty humid in here. So the heads get more and more used to the humidity, and they stop moving on me. And then I'll send it out when it seems pretty stable. Okay, be back tomorrow to tighten it down a little bit. Thanks. Okay, here we are, day number 2, with having this head on the rim that I stretched it on yesterday. It's still feeling really tight. We had torrential rains yesterday. It was dumping, and so it was pretty humid here in the shop, and this thing still feels really tight. So I'm just going to go and check the tension on these. That one's really hard. I'm not moving it. Still hard. That one moved a little bit. A little bit. Not too much. A little bit. These are all still pretty tight. That one moved. So like I said, I'm giving the wrench an equal push on each one. You know, so some of them don't want to go and some of them do. So at this point, it's still the ring's about 1/8 of an inch above the top of the head. The top of the tension hoop is 1/8, so this is good. That gives enough room to tighten down. So I'm going to put the neck on this today then. And just a comparison, here's a rim that's been sitting here on this jig for 2 weeks. You can tell that it's loosened up a little bit after its first stretch. So now I just come and tighten this one down a bit. This is just the stretching jig, so I don't have hooks on every little bracket. These are feeling tight. Let's see how it sounds now. Yeah, so this one's pretty much ready to go on the rim. Alright, next it'll be on the banjo. Thanks. Okay, here's the bacon rim that I I stretched the head arm, and it has the strings on it, and I've tightened it a little more since the last video. I didn't videotape that, but it's basically I've tightened it the same way. It's ready to be sent out to its new owner, as I got the head down to pretty much a little bit above a 1/16 above the head. So throughout, its time, it's going to be here in Oregon, so it'll stay pretty stable like mine does. I never really adjust the head on my banjo anymore. I did once this summer, and it was our first rainy day, and I played an outdoor farmers market show with a flat rock string band, and my head did sag a little bit when it started to rain, and I was outside underneath the tent. So I just took my wrench and I went around in between tunes and tightened each of the nuts in a row as they needed to be tightened, and it brought the sound right back up, and I haven't touched it since. But yeah, so now the way to tell the height is to measure the string height. The string height from the 17th fret to the bottom of the string, and I set them at just under 5/32, a little more than an eighth. Once you get down to having 1/8 inch action above the 17th fret, the banjo to me really starts to sound flat, and you get lots of buzzing. But the higher you bring up the action, the better it sounds to me. So I found a happy medium that a lot of my customers seem to feel comfortable with. So for me, it's a little low. I keep it a little higher than this, but when I send them out, this is how high they go. So to figure out how much to tighten your banjo head, what you want is when you tighten the head until the string action comes back up to pretty much 5/32. So you measure from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string, and that will tell you if your skin head is tight enough. Okay, great. Thanks a lot.